Hello and welcome to Film Talk. I'm your host Sam Dale, and I am joined with
Alex Brown.
Alex Brown, who we see ourselves as film experts in the film industry.
He does. Well, I just like watching films.
And so we decided to make this podcast. Well, I did. We decided to make this podcast for our love of film because we respect film. So today we're going to be reviewing Paranormal Activity 2. And we're going to be talking about Harry Potter, which is coming out, the last ever Harry Potter, which is coming out in 2 parts.
Ah!
Someone's not happy about that. Harry Potter's coming out in 2 parts, one in November and one in July. Is it July? Or June? 2011.
That wasn't a scream of unhappiness, that was a scream of excitement.
Oh, Alex is happy.
So let's start off with Paranormal Activity 2. I went to see this film with some friends. I saw the first Paranormal Activity and it was okay, but I just didn't see why everyone was scared of waiting about 20 minutes for a chair to move. But anyway, the sequel brings a slightly bigger budget. Like, for example, they've got a lot more fishing wire to move stuff around with. Yep, and I know you haven't seen this film, Sam,
No.
but what would you think of it if... What do you think?
What
about
would I
it?
expect to
What
go
would you
and
expect?
see?
Yeah.
I would probably expect to see something very similar to the first one with a higher budget. I don't see why I heard it was like something 200 times more expensive to make the second movie than the first movie, which is absolutely stupid. It's not. Paranormal Activity 2 for me. It's anybody could make it. Is that what it's like? Is it like?
Yeah. It is basically like anyone could make it. I mean, it's very, very low budget and it's very cheap scares. But basically, what the story is, right? It makes you think that it's actually a prequel to the first one, but you find out later on down the line that it's actually a sequel. And if you go and see it, then you'll know what I mean. But if you don't, then go and see it. But basically, for the first 3 quarters of the film, nothing happens. It's just you're watching a family living out daily life. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, you gotta get to know them, but I don't want to have to sit through an hour of watching a family go to the shops and buying something. I mean, I do that myself.
Do you feel that the movie was made because of the first one's massive success? Do you think they would have made a second one if the first one wasn't as successful? Do you think they would have made it? Because I just feel like it's a sequel that they've made to make money. You know what I mean?
Well, it was made for 20 quid, so obviously they could have made another one, even if the first one wasn't a success. Because if they made it the first one for 10 quid, but they got 50 quid, then they've made a huge profit, so they could have made a sequel, couldn't they?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but they made a massive profit. They made a massive return because the first movie was so cheap. They made millions and millions, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. 1 million, yes. Anyway, what was I going to say now? Oh yeah, now the first one. What I like about the second one rather than the first one is that I actually like the protagonists in the second one. I like the main characters. The characters in the first one seem a bit bitchy in my opinion, but in the sorry about that. I'm gonna have to bleep that out later. But in the second one, the characters are a lot more likable, if not a bit more stupid. For example, the dad. The woman is always trying to convince the father in the story that there's something going on, but the father never actually believes him, and he actually kind of acts a bit of a jerk about it, and he tries to trick the woman.
Maybe they were done on purpose, more likeable characters, so when he died, you felt a lot worse when coming out. Did you jump in the film? I heard it was quite people.
Yeah, there are a few jump shocks, but it was like there's a girl sitting there just like doing nothing, doing some knitting, and then bleh!
Is it? Do you expect it every 3 seconds? Is it quite a hard movie to sit through because you always know that you're going to get scared any second?
I admit, although it was tense at first, but after a while I realised nothing was going to happen. So then, I mean, the last 20 minutes of the film is actually quite badass, but the ending for me, the way it ends is kind of a bit gay,
sudden.
It's a bit disappointing. I'm not going to tell you why. I mean, it's just a bit disappointing for me, just like the first one was a bit disappointing. I mean, the demon in the film, it's just... Sometimes I think it's not actually got any goals, it's just bored. So that's why... imagine it's just sitting there reading a magazine, and then he just decides, I'm going to move this chair. So he moves the chair, and then everyone starts freaking out. Oh my god! Ah!
Okay,
yeah.
well, that is Paranormal Activity review slash
Yes, I'll give
summary of the film.
Out of 5, I would probably give it 3 stars. I mean, because if you're with friends, then it'll be a good laugh. I mean, it'll be a good laugh. If you're on your own, you'll be quite scared sometimes, but you'll be quite bored most of the time. So.
Okay, so that's Paranormal Activity 2. Looks like Alex enjoyed it, giving it 3 stars. Would you recommend people go see it?
If you're hugely scared by the whole ghost malarkey, then yeah, go and see it. But if you're not, then just wait for it to come out on Sky Movies or something, and watch it for free.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And now we're going on to talk about Harry Potter, the last ever Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. Alex, are you excited?
The answer to that question is yes, I am excited.
Do you? I didn't know you like the Harry Potter films.
I do like the Harry Potter films. I liked the first. I mean, I grew up with the Harry Potter films. I saw the first one when I can't remember how young I was, but I saw it when I was very young, and I saw each one as it came out of cinema. I have seen every Harry Potter film in the cinema since, because it's kind of become like a tradition.
Ritual.
Yes, a ritual. Yes, I mean, I've seen everyone in cinema, so hopefully I'll be able to see this one in cinemas as well. I certainly plan to.
It's coming out in 2 parts. We see them both at the cinema because.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, the second one. I mean, the first part, I was told it was going to be in 3D, but then we found out that it wasn't going to be in 3D simply because they couldn't do it in time.
I think it's going to be better without 3D. I don't think it needs 3D.
Well, yeah, maybe, but it would be nice to have the option of seeing it in 3D for those who like 3D. I mean, the second part is going to be in 3D. That's been confirmed. But so going back, what is your favourite Harry Potter film, Sam?
Well, I am actually not a massive fan of the Harry Potter films in general. Cause,
answer my damn question, damn it.
but I would say, I don't know, probably Chamber of Secrets. I quite like that film because the flying car and stuff. But
yes.
I'm not keen on the whole Harry Potter films.
Yes, now let me tell you how to answer that question correctly. The correct answer is, well, I have 2 favourites. I would either choose The Prisoner of Azkaban or The Goblet of Fire. Now, what would you say is your worst one?
Definitely number 1. I'll tell you why. Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, he's one of the worst actors I have ever seen in... Well, he was in the... He has grown as an actor, and we can see him grow, which is kind of fun to see an actor grow through films, but if you have to sit down and watch the first film again, because when you're a kid, you don't really notice the actor as much, but as you grow up, you realise that was terrible. Don't you agree? He was a terrible actor.
Well, I mean, I was a little kid when I watched it, so I didn't really care about the acting. It was all about the flying, the magic and the owls and stuff. I mean, obviously, you were a little too smart for your own good when you were a little kid. So it can't have been very good your childhood, could it? So, no, moving on. We won't go into that. But moving on, I think my worst Harry Potter film. I would say that actually I agree with you with the Philosopher's Stone because it was kind of bad, the acting now compared to today. But I would actually go with The Half-Blood Prince. Simply because, I mean, I don't think it's a bad film. I mean, it's okay, but nothing happens in it. I mean, basically, what it is 2.5 hours of teenagers looking at each other funnily. Like, oh, I think Ginny Weasley fancies me. Well, I think Ron fancies me.
That's funny because they've actually changed as we actually see them grow up, because actually the movies have gone from being quite kiddie films with magic wands and have grown up to be like, I think since Twilight came out they've actually gone to a more teenage or like a young adult teenage.
Did you enjoy Twilight? Have you seen Twilight, Sam?
I've seen Twilight.
Did you enjoy it?
I'm not going to say I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was good, nicely filmed. I'm not going to say I enjoyed the storyline. It wasn't the best storyline.
Sam, you're gay.
It's made for teenage girls, okay? That's the main target audience.
Imagine Twilight, but for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, in fact. Well,
I saw it on DVD, so I had the option to leave the room.
I hated Twilight, but the reason why I like this was because it was the darkest in my opinion, it was the darkest Harry Potter, and there was lots of adult themes like murder and death and more death and that sort of thing. And I thought, although I've read all the books, and the book was extremely boring, but until the last 2 chapters. But the reason why I was quite disappointed by the ending was because a lot happened in the final 2 chapters, but not a lot happened in the end. Basically, if you've seen the film, you know what I mean. It was just like, it ended, the climax was very unclimactic. So anyway, it was an alright film. But
okay,
yeah.
Harry Potter, are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
Are we going to go see it? That's Harry
Yes.
Potter.
I want to see it.
Deathly Hallows